Here I'm going to show you how to set up and use an IPEC Global chemical replenishment system. We can see here that we've got a sulfuric skid, a deox skid, a skid with a cleaner and an etch, and a skid with a dye and a seal. I'll show you with the deox how to set it up and use the system. So first things first, you want to go into this deox calibration screen, and then you want to type in the number of strokes you want to pump. 100 seems to be a good amount, as it's not so many strokes that you're here half the day waiting for it to pump, but it's also enough pumping so that it offsets any variance within the pump itself. Now, before you begin the calibration cycle, you do want to pump manually to purge the system, depending on how long you have your how long you have your lines. And once you're done pumping manually, you want to hit begin calibration cycle, and this will begin pumping the 100 strokes. Once it finishes its pumping cycle, what you'll want to do is you'll want to take the amount of solution that you measured out of that pump cycle total for the 100 strokes, and you'll want to type it in here as milliliters. In a previous test, we ran 3,540 milliliters. This will vary depending on your shop air pressure, but it shouldn't be significantly different. Once you type that in, it will do a calculation. That is a rounded off number. It will have an actual value in the PLC itself. That's just to give you an idea. Once you're done with that, you can go back, and now you can use the system for the deox. You have the option of pumping by stroke count, pumping by volume. Here we have it set by volume, but if we wanted to pump by stroke count, we'd have that off. We could go in here and we could type in the number of strokes we'd want to pump. And then you can hit begin pump cycle to pump. But I'll show you how to do it pumping by volume. We want that on. You can go in here and you can type in the volume that you want to pump in milliliters. Here, let's pump 1,000 milliliters. It'll do a calculation based on the amount of solution per pump. And you can come over here and you can hit begin pump cycle. And that's basically how you use the replenishment system. Now I will show you, in this case, for sulfuric acid, we have multiple destinations for the same chemistry. And so it is a little different. When you go to calibrate your sulfuric acid, you'll want to select one of the destinations. It can be any one of the 5, as the pump itself is going to pump the same amount across all 5 destinations. So you select one of the destinations, and then you go through the process just the same. You want to purge the system until you get solution out of it. You'll want to have a bucket or something that you can use to measure the amount of solution coming out of the pump. Type in the number of strokes you want to calibrate to, in this case 100 strokes. Hit begin calibration cycle, and it will pump that number of strokes, and at the end of it you'll want to type in the solution volume pumped to calibrate the system. Now that this is done, we can go back and we can use our sulfuric acid. This is, like I said, a little different because of the number of destinations we have. So what you'll want to do is you'll want to set it by stroke or by volume. You want to type the number of strokes or the volume of solution you want to pump. In this case, we'll pump 1,000 milliliters, 1 liter. Then you want to hit begin pumping, and it'll bring up a pop-up screen where you can either pump manually or begin your pump cycle after you select one of your 5, in this case 5 destinations. So if we wanted to pump 1 liter of sulfuric acid to our deox, we'd hit deox, and we'd hit begin pump cycle, and it will initiate the cycle to pump that volume into the deox tank. And that is basically it. That is our chemical replenishment system.